Hey makers, it's Bree from Minerva. I am super excited about today's video. The most wonderful time of the year is right around the corner. I am so ready to get all dolled up to celebrate the winter holidays, and of course, that means sewing up some new festive winter party garments. In this video, I've paired together 7 fabrics and 7 patterns, perfect for the party season. We'll explore classic party dresses, jewel tones, velvets, but I've also got some more laid back options as well as some really unique pieces. I was really thinking through all the types of festive parties one might be attending this season, as well as thinking kind of loosely on a capsule wardrobe for those of us who might be traveling this season. So whether you're hosting a casual dinner, attending an office party, or going all out for New Year's, I've got some fab festive sewing inspiration for you. So I thought we'd start off with some snazzy separates. I know we often think of winter parties as dress territory, but separates shouldn't be dismissed as less fancy. If anything, they're just as chic and all the more versatile. They can be dressed way up for a fancy event or dressed down to fit in as part of your everyday wardrobe. I had the idea of making a little 3-piece set, so a blouse, trousers, and a blazer. They'd be totally gorgeous paired together, but will also work nicely worked into your wardrobe with other pieces. For the fabrics, I chose solids over prints, but I promise they're not boring. All 3 pieces have a really gorgeous texture and lots of eye-catching dimension. I went for the classic black and red combo for the winter holidays, but each of these fabrics is available in lots of other lovely colors, so you can definitely mix it up. First up, I have a classic blouse pattern. It is a wardrobe essential, so perfect for dressing up this time of year. It's the Pussy Bow blouse from Sew Over It. The bow is absolutely my favorite type of blouse collar. I think it is such a fun, nod to vintage style, but still feels really modern. The details in the pattern are really lovely with its slightly dropped shoulder. It has a rouleau loop and bias sleeve closure. It is so pretty. Sew Over It patterns come in 2 size ranges, so UK 6 to 20 and UK 18 to 30. The 6 to 20 range covers hips from 31 inches to 48 inches and is drafted for a dressmaker's B cup. The 18 to 30 band is for hips 48 to 60 inches and is made with a dressmaker's D cup. So the cup does not refer to a bra size, but rather the ratio of the high bust to the full bust. So definitely check both size charts if you fall in those crossover sizes. So the Pussy Bow blouse is meant for confident beginners. The main construction is pretty easy. There's no darts, no closures, but finishing the cup and collar do require some attention to detail. The Pussy Bow blouse is designed for drapier fabrics like viscose, silk, or crepe de chine. I have chosen one of my all-time favorite fabrics. This is the Atelier Brunette Viscose Dobby in black. I am such a sucker for a viscose dobby. If I had to pick one fabric for my whole wardrobe to be made up in, I'm probably going to choose this one. It has the versatility of a solid fabric, but the texture gives it a lot of character. I love the way that the light just reflects off of these little woven dots. So this is 100% viscose. And I wanted to say that if you haven't sewn with viscose because of its slippery reputation, this might be a good one to start with. It has a steadier hand, I think because of the little dots, so that makes it a little easier to work with. It's also a certified Lensing Ecovero viscose, which means it's produced in a more environmentally friendly manner. So that's an extra win. And yeah, it would just be so pretty as a Pussy Bow blouse. You could wear it with jeans or your favorite skirt, or a pair of funky fab trousers like the next pattern. I just had to go with the new Closet Core Mitchell trousers. They are so classic, so beautiful. Whether you go for the cropped tapered leg or the long wide legs, the Mitchell trousers are just a really elevated wardrobe piece. So both views have a fly front with a hook and bar closure, deep front pleats, slash pockets, my favorite kind of pockets, back darts, and welt pockets at the back. The detail though that like sealed the deal for me including these in my winter party edit is the optional D-ring waist slides. It is such a cool and chic way to incorporate comfort and flexibility into a garment. I mean, at a party, I want to be able to move and dance, sit, stand, so having flexibility built into my party clothes is essential. So the printed Mitchells come in US 0 to 20, which is a 33 to 48 inch hip. The Mitchells are listed as an intermediate pattern, which makes sense with the fly front and the welt pockets. But I have to say that Closet Core's instructions are so good, they're so thorough. I do think that a patient and driven beginner could take these on. If you've got a couple garments under your belt, if you're comfortable with your machine and up for really taking your time, I think you could totally take on these trousers, even as a beginner. As for fabrics for the Closet Core Mitchell trousers, most mid-weight wovens will do nicely. So for a structured architectural look, fabrics like denim, linen, wool suiting, those are going to be great. If you're looking for something flowier, go for rayon, tencel twill, wool crepe, or silk noir. I have gone for a deliciously drapey tencel twill. This is the Meat Milk two-tone striped tencel twill. It is super lush. It is really like light and airy, but still opaque. Very important for trousers. And what I love about it is the twill weave itself. So not only are there the two tones of black in here, but each one has, the weave is going like the diagonal goes in a different direction. So it really picks up a lot more light, a lot more movement, and I think they are so perfect for the Mitchell trousers. So last in our little capsule / ensemble is the Heather blazer from Friday Pattern Company. This is one of those patterns that just took the sewing community by storm. It's really a pattern that has demystified outerwear for a lot of beginners. I know at one point I had like written off jackets and blazers as way too advanced, but Friday Pattern Company has really broken it all down and made a fantastic blazer pattern for adventurous beginners. So the Heather blazer has a modern, slightly oversized cut. It is fully lined with a classic notched lapel and optional patch pockets. Heather comes in sizes extra small to 7X, so that is hips measuring 34 to 63 inches. Heather works in a variety of woven fabrics. You can go with something drapey like tencel twill or lightweight linen for like an easy, soft layering piece, or choose something with more body to emphasize the straight lines of the design. So in the festive spirit, I decided to go full like holiday magic with a red cotton velvet from Minerva's core range. So it comes in several jewel tones, and this is the delicious wine color. It's 100% cotton. It has a really nice weight for garment sewing. It is a bit narrow, so keep that in mind. It's 44 inches, but it's going to hold the shape and really feature the details of the pattern really nicely. Now, if you haven't worked with velvet, I have some tips. So first, you're going to want to purchase a little extra. You'll use the same fabric as a press cloth to keep the texture, the pile, intact while pressing. Another reason you'll want to grab some extra is that your pieces all need to be cut facing the same direction. Often pattern layouts have you flip pieces around to make the most of your fabric, but velvet is actually a directional fabric because of the way that the light hits this pile. Now my last tip is to keep a broom or a vacuum on hand when you're cutting and sewing. Velvet produces a lot of fluff and you'll definitely want to clean your machine after sewing with velvet. So yes, velvet is a little high maintenance, but the results are absolutely worth it. A gorgeous outerwear piece like the Heather blazer is an item that you will return to season after season, whether you pair it with a slinky top like the Pussy Bow blouse and the cool Mitchell trousers, or just jeans and a tee. A red velvet blazer is an effortlessly cool statement piece that is great to have in your wardrobe, especially around the winter holidays. So now that we've covered some options for separates, let's talk dresses and jumpsuits. So I had to include a wrap dress. I love sewing a wrap dress. I love wearing wrap dresses. They are so versatile. And I really wanted something to show the transition between like a work day to office party to celebration. So I have picked the Saint Germain wrap dress by Liesl & Co. So this pattern has gone like straight to the top of my to sew list. There's so many gorgeous details. Everything is so balanced and beautiful. So the Saint Germain is a wrap dress that has buttons down the side, which is really, really cute. It's got deep pleats at the skirt as well as like subtler pleats at the bodice, and everything gets tucked into a really nice wide waistband. There's two options for the sleeves. There's a flutter or a elbow length shirred sleeve. There's also two options for the length of the skirt. Now there's a couple key construction pieces that I wanted to talk about because I think they really set this pattern apart. So first is that inner waistband. So it makes for a really clean, professional look on the inside. Second, I like that this pattern really bears in mind that we want wrap dresses with lots of coverage. So there's a lot of overlap, plus those buttons on the side make it super secure. So there's no wardrobe malfunctions gonna happen. And lastly, very important to me, most Liesl & Co patterns, including this dress, come with bust cups. So that is just like a lifesaver for those of us that are a bit on the bustier side. Having that full bust adjustment already done is such an important time saver and is great for the fit, especially on a wrap dress. So the Saint Germain wrap dress comes in sizes US 0 to 20. So that's a 35 to a 48.5 inch hip. This pattern is a great skill builder for the adventurous beginner. The construction is really fun. It's fairly straightforward, but it also introduces some new techniques, perfect for leveling up your sewing skills. Fabric recommendations for the Saint Germain include light to medium weight wovens. So cotton and linen will emphasize like that A-line of the skirt, and drapier fabrics like silk, viscose, tencel twill will produce like softer, flowier dresses. Now, I have gone with another Meat Milk two-tone tencel. I just love these fabrics. Like, I love them so much. The quality is so great. Again, you have that really beautiful opacity, but still like good body and drape. So the other one was a stripe, and this one is a check, so they are different. This one is in the colorway dark navy. It's a really pretty like midnight blue. It could look black depending on the light, but yeah, it really has that nice blue hue to it. I really love the idea of making a holiday dress in something like gingham-esque. I feel like it's so homey and wintry, especially in this dark blue. It has like the feel of Christmas without being a full Christmas print. I think it's so lovely and would be so beautiful made up as a wrap dress that you could wear for Christmas, but also any day at the office. I am so excited about this next one. As I said, I am like all about comfort. It is a really big part of why I sew my own clothes. I love that by pairing the right fabric and the right pattern, you can really end up with a piece that looks super glamorous, but still feels comfy and cozy. Secret pajamas, it's the best. So this is the Jolie Bella Fit and Flare dress. It is a women's and girls' princess seam dress designed for knit fabrics. So it comes in ankle length or knee length with your choice of short, long, or bishop sleeves. The neckline is really cute. It's like high in the front, but it scoops down a bit in the back. My favorite detail though is that you can make it as a regular dress or with a built-in leotard. How fun is that? So the sizing is really unique. The paper pattern comes with women's and girls sizes all nested together. So the girl sizes are ages 2 to 13, and the women's sizes are US 4 to 14. So that women's size covers hip measurements from 36 to 45 inches. The best fabrics for the Bella dress are knits with lots of stretch. So think viscose jersey, double brush poly, stretch lace. The dress version is going to require fabrics with at least 60% horizontal stretch, but if you're making the version with the leotard, you'll also need 60% in the lengthwise stretch to fit the length of the torso. So I have gone with the Minerva Core Range Deluxe Soft Velvet. It is so soft. In the color Dusty Rose. So it does come in lots of jewel tones if you're wanting like that more traditional festive colors. But I chose this pink for like sentimental and practical reasons. So practically, this is going to go with like everything in my wardrobe. It's a color that I wear all year round, but I love it a little extra at Christmas time because it reminds me of these Christmas ornaments that my mom had when I was little. They were also velvet in this kind of mauve-y, dusty pink color, and I just thought that they were so magical. So now whenever I see a velvet this color, I get that like warm, nostalgic, Christmassy feeling. And yeah, it makes me love this fabric a little bit more. But I should probably share like the actual details of the fabric instead of, you know, waffling on. So it is a knit velvet with 60% crosswise stretch and 15% vertical stretch. It is 88% polyester and 12% spandex. It is super stretchy, like you can see along the cross grain. It's really drapey and super soft. So like the other velvet, you will want to take a lot of care when cutting out because the nap on this one like is even more pronounced. So you want to make sure that everything is cut in the same direction. Now, since it is jersey, you won't have to press as much, and you can probably get away with pressing just on the back side, which is like very smooth actually. It's not clingy or scratchy like the backs of stretch velvet can be sometimes. I think this one is so lovely and really perfect for a twirly dress like the Jolly Bella. This next pattern is the dress pattern to end all other dress patterns. It is the Cashmerette Upton Dress and Expansion Pack. It is a whole book with literally hundreds of possible combinations. So there are two skirt shapes, a gored and a pleated, that come in 3 different lengths, and you can pair them with either the dress bodice or a waistband to just make a skirt. The fitted bodice has 3 neckline options, and you can choose if you want the bust and waist to be shaped by darts or with princess seams. Then there is a whole array of sleeve options, short, long, cap, tie, flutter, and all of these features mix and match so nicely together. Depending on your fabric choice, you can use the pattern to make a dress for almost any occasion. So the Upton Dress expansion comes in Cashmerette's full sizing, so that is US 0 to 32 split into 2 size ranges. So the 0 to 16 package comes for hips 35 to 46 inches, and it's built for like a relatively straighter figure through the waist and the hips. The 12 to 32 range covers hips from 42 to 62 inches and is drafted with a bit more curve in mind, including like a slightly higher waist. Both bands include 3 bust cup options for an FBA free construction. You know I love that, so great. So the Upton is rated advanced beginner in terms of difficulty. So it has really thorough instructions to help you through things like sewing the lining to the bodice, as well as setting an invisible zipper. When it comes to fabrics for the Upton, anything woven is going to be great here. It's the same rule of thumb that applies with drapey fabrics like viscose. Tencel is going to have a really soft, like breezy effect, and fabrics with more body like cotton and linen will give a bit more structure. So in this case, I have gone for full-on structure with this incredible Bella textured woven brocade. So I was very inspired by some of the pattern samples made up in brocade and jacquard fabrics. I feel like this is such a great pattern to show off extra special fabrics like this one. I think the colors and the textures are just so stunning. Like, these flowers are literally 3D. It feels super luxurious. So it is 94% polyester and 96% polyester and 4% metallic. The colors are super warm and I love the cozy vibe while still feeling very like elevated and chic. So I wanted to play up the volume of this brocade by using the pleated skirt that comes with the pattern, as well as like the V-neck princess seams. I think would make such a beautiful, beautiful brocade dress for the festive season. For my last pick, I went all out. I wanted to do a full-on glam, gorgeous New Year's Eve outfit. So far, we've discussed the pattern and then the fabric. But in this case, it is all about the fabric, so we have to start there. So this is the Glitz metallic textured stretch knit fabric from the Minerva core range. Like, this shimmer is unreal. It is such a fun fabric. So it is a poly nylon blend with 60%, horizontal stretch and 15% vertical stretch. Now, depending on what you're making, you may want to use a knit lining. It is a little bit sheer, but like, look, like the sparkle, it's so gorgeous. I'm just in love. Now, I wanted to go for a real showstopper, and to me, that is always going to be a jumpsuit. They are fresh and bold and perfect for displaying killer fabric. So I have chosen the Kilo wrap dress from Named Clothing. Now, the Kilo achieved cult status in the sewing community as a dress, but then when it was re-released, Named also included an extra jumpsuit variation. So the Kilo wrap dress and jumpsuit come in sizes UK 4 to 28, so that's a 33 to a 55-inch hip. And it's made for drapey knit fabrics like jersey, sweater knit, double brush poly. Now, I really love the shape of this jumpsuit. Like, you basically have two big triangles at the hip with big ties that you cross over and tie at the waist. So it's really unique, but still like cool and comfy. It's great for dancing and lounging and anything you would get up to on New Year's Eve. The cocoon shape and the wraparound detail, like, it feels very 1930s to me, like beach pajamas, but paired with a killer fabric. This glitzy knit is going to be like vintage Hollywood glamour. I think will be so gorgeous. So those are my project picks for this winter party edit. I would love to know what you're making this festive season, so definitely comment below. Tell me all about your winter party sewing plans. As always, all the products are linked, so everything I talked about, you can go find a bit more information. But not only that, you can also see what other folks in the Minerva community have made with them. There is so much sewing inspiration from the talented sewists here on Minerva. And if you would like to join the Minerva community, show off your projects, connect with other makers around the world, you can do so by signing up with the link below. You can get 5% off your next Minerva order, and we would love to have you here. So that is all from me today. Until next time, happy making and happy holidays.